Hey guys, Nick here. Thanks for coming by. This video may be a little bit depressing, but it's a really big reflection of where I was at when I had gotten my diagnosis and when I was basically given my timeline as to how long that I had to live. So, as I've said in previous videos, once we had received my diagnosis, we had to make my will. And in doing that, it got expedited very quickly. Normally, it takes a week or two to get everything notarized and all of that. But my attorney was very adamant that I come back actually the day that we had set it up later that afternoon and get everything signed because we didn't know if I was going to make it through that particular weekend. This was on a Friday. So after we got all that set up, I kind of knew that my death was almost imminent. So I decided that I was going to write my obituary. And I had to do this later on for a kind of exercise that I was doing. But I wanted to share with you guys the first obituary that I wrote. I was very, very obviously sad, but I was angry. I was very much, how can this happen to me? I was vindictive. I was mad. I was bitter. And so I'm actually going to share that with you guys to just kind of really give you a heavy insight as to where I was at. At some points, I tried to be funny. At some points, I tried to be mean. At some point, I was playing the victim. I wanted other people to feel bad because I was innerly just feeling so angry. So, had I not kind of kicked out and, been able to improve my health, uh, this would have been the obituary that would have been read at my funeral. So, I appreciate you guys hanging out, and I'll have a follow up to this afterwards. Good day to whomever decided to come and put me to rest. This may seem odd, but I was in a position prior to my death in which I knew almost the exact day that I was going to die. So I figured I'd get ahead and relieve those of you present the torture of public speaking. I would love for some of you to say a few words about me or times we enjoyed, but the truth is that would be superficial, generic, and most likely hollow. After all, we either didn't know each other very well, possibly you're here out of obligation from the state or funeral home to be present as a witness. So I figured I'd get ahead while I was still alive and kicking. But don't worry, I'm still just close enough to death that there will be a forced natural sense of sadness in the voice of whoever reads this. I haven't robbed those of you who are here to simply cry and behave emotionally. You can still strive for pity and comfort for those from those around you. Know this, I'm not writing this obituary to comfort you. I'm writing this for your reaction. My goal is to make myself sound as downtrodden and subjugated as possible, saying nothing but self-deprecating things about myself, smearing it right in your face so you'll feel sorry for me one last time. Yep, that is, after all, how vindictive I became. I'm not even there or even alive to see your reaction. But damn it, I'm gonna get a reaction if it kills me. Get it? Yep, I struggled, and now here I lie, the true martyr that I am. I, Nick, was born on December the 7th, 1982, at UT Medical Center in Knoxville, Tennessee. He is preceded in death by his grandparents. I won't say the names. Mother and father, several aunts, uncles, cousins, family, and friends. He was a graduate of CAK and received his bachelor's degree from the University of Tennessee. He enjoyed life to the fullest, so he thought. Surviving him is his beloved and cherished teapot, Carrie, and her son. He left behind an an incomplete house with unfinished projects, but more importantly, an empty and broken dysfunctional home. A 1900 square foot cold and impersonal dwelling void of sounds of life. The only disturbance of silence is another small break or chip that has befallen his teapot, which will never have that warm feeling inside or be cherished and shined for everyone around her to enjoy. My stubbornness let me hang around Earth for a few months or years longer than I should have. I took that extra time to finish the job of self-destruction I was destined for. I continued doing what eventually killed me. I was nothing more than a walking shadow. Actually, if anyone here really knew in intimate detail about me, please raise your hand. You're going to talk about all of the, quote, potential that I had and how smart I was. You will fawn over how I had such a great way with people and how I never met a stranger. Those remarks are hollow and fake, as the one given when a coworker asked if you like their new haircut, or even better, when they say, "I've lost 30 pounds," and you say great things while in reality you're thinking, "Skinny doesn't fix ugly." No one laughing? Okay. If there is nothing else, I'll conclude with a quote or a poem. It's a closing quote of one of my favorite movies. In typical Nick fashion, it glorifies my lifestyle in front of others and now BS'd its way through life. In the end, I have no legacy despite all of my years of life. Though this poem may ring true for me in many ways, it's still nothing more than the memories of a delusional past I tried so desperately to keep alive. So go with this, apply it as you see or don't see fit. It's up to you, but thanks for hanging around this long. And how I ended that obituary was with the final quote. If you've ever seen the movie Blow with Johnny Depp, where he portrays a character named George Young. So here is the quote. So in the end, was it worth it? Jesus Christ, how irreparably changed my life has become. It's always the last day of summer, and I've been left out in the cold with no door to get back in. I'll grant you I've had more than my share of poignant moments. Life passes most people by while they're making grand plans for it. Throughout my lifetime, I left pieces of my heart here and there, and now there is almost not enough to stay alive. But I force a smile, knowing that my ambition far exceeded my talent. There are no more white horses or pretty ladies at my door. So that's where I was at. I felt bad, so I wanted everyone else to feel bad. It wasn't until probably a couple of months later when I had surpassed the doctor's estimation as to how long I was going to live. And so that was in the beginning of January. And then after January, my goal became to make it to February. And then it became to make it to March. And as I kept going, I got more and more hope and more strength. I was still a recluse. I wasn't seeing anyone or talking to anyone. My cousin, who lived out of town, would come over like once a month or so when he was in. But other than that, I only saw Carrie and my physicians. I looked horrible, felt horrible, didn't want to see everyone, and as kind of my last minute stab at the world, I wanted other people to feel the way that I did. Hurts to say that, but that's where I was at. And I'd like to say it's difficult for me to imagine myself in that place, but it isn't, because I remember, even though I had the brain fog going, just how afraid and angry I was with my diagnosis and the prognosis. I was already miserable before that, but that's where I was at. So my next video will actually be my second obituary that I wrote sometime later, which is more hopeful and is more me and reflects more of where I was at then. I haven't done a revised one after that. Um, I haven't seen a need to, but I appreciate you guys being here. Not trying to be a depressing video, but it's important to just relay these things that are going on. So remember to like and subscribe. As always, below in the box is my Facebook group for end-stage liver disease and support. A lot of good information there, lots of really, really great people there from all over. So it says East Tennessee, but I got people in there from all over the world. So I look forward to seeing you guys, and my next video will be up here in a couple of days. So have a great one. Enjoy the outside, enjoy yourself, and make the difference in someone's day to day.